Leeds United smashed 3 past the mighty Chelsea at Elland Road. Chelsea title charge in tatters, from defensive disaster class to Maresca poor rotation, as well as the 5 things we learned from the 3-1 defeat. But before we dive into this depressing review, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. Starting with the first thing, poor rotation. Let's be brutal. The moment that 11 dropped, we all know we were cooked. That lineup wasn't rotation, it was sabotage. Sanchez in goal, fair enough, but when you look across the pitch, it becomes clear Maresca basically told Leeds, here are your 3 points. Chalobah at right back, when Rhys James, Gusto, and even our Champong are sitting on the bench. That's not rotation, that's a self-inflicted handicap. Chalobah is a centre back, we all know it, Leeds know it, Chalobah himself knows it, and Maresca still hang him out to dry. Then you count the changes, up to 5 from the Arsenal game. 5, that's half the spine of the team ripped out, days after a match they already drained us. Now my question is, how are we supposed to build rhythm? How are we supposed to build chemistry? You don't rotate half the squad in one go unless you're in a Carabao Cup or trying to get yourself sacked. And the elephant in the room, Tosin Adrabayo, we'll get to him, don't worry. That one deserves his own autopsy. Now let's talk about the so-called attack. Leon Delap finished with a 6.6 rating, 17 touches. He might as well have been a hologram. 3 shots, 1 on target, and nothing to show for it. His form recently, shocking. Barely enough threat to stress this championship backline, let alone carry Chelsea in a hostile away game. And then there is Joao Pedro, a 6.2 rating, 3 key passes that led nowhere, 1 shot, and an overall performance flatter than the Leeds pitch. We need someone to grab the game, dictate tempo, and ask questions. But he didn't even whisper. And the worst part, Cole Palmer is fit. You don't bench your best player, your most creative player, your most clutch player in a match where the atmosphere is going to be nasty. And Leeds press like their life depend on it. That's managerial malpractice. I don't want to hear saving him. I don't want to hear fitness management. This is the Premier League, and points don't wait for you. Maresca got it wrong today, plain and simple. This wasn't an experimentation. This was poor judgment. When we rotate like this, we lose our identity. We break our press, our cohesion, our identity. We become a team that invites chaos instead of controlling it. And today we look like strangers playing kickabouts. Not a side I want to compete at the top end of the table. And when manager gets it wrong, everything falls apart. We saw that disaster unfold in real time at Elland Road. Which brings me to the second thing we learned. Poor defensive structure. Let's not sugarcoat it. Today's defensive display was an absolute disaster. Every single centre back on that pitch looked like they are playing their first Premier League game. And yes, that includes Tosin. A 6.2 rating, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 12 clearance, 8 aerial duels, dribbled past ones, plus an error leading to a goal. The question is, are we even serious? In a squad where Josh Achampong is sitting on the bench, ready and capable, we start Tosin. This is beyond reckless. It's incompetent. There is no other way to put it. Tosin this season has been a walking liability. He should be benched until he proves otherwise. Not entrusted to anchor our backline in a pressure cooker like Elland Road. Then there is Badio Show. A 6.1 rating, 1 tackle, 3 clearance, 1 recovery. That's it. 1 minute he looks like a real defender. The next is gifting space like he's auditioning for Leeds highlight reel. Injury is one thing, but inconsistency like that confuses the hell out of us. And it shows on the pitch. There's no cohesion, no communication, no stability at the back. And the goal from Calvert-Lewin, let's break it down. Leeds smelled weakness from a mile away. They exploited gaps, misread, and poor positioning, like we were handing out free lessons. It wasn't just a single moment, it was a series of poor decisions stacked on each other. Observant aren't wrong when they say Chelsea never looked like they will get back into the game. That's not hype, that's fact. Every time Leeds press, we crumble. Every direct ball into the box made us nervous. Every set piece was panic attack waiting to happen. And here's the thing, it's not a one-off problem, it's a recurring issue. Week after week, we saw Chelsea struggle against compact and aggressive setup. Our centre-back depth is shallow, and our defensive structure is pepper-thin. Fans are not just frustrated, they are rightly terrified every single time an opponent starts pumping balls into the danger zone. At Elland Road, we didn't just lose a game, we exposed a fundamental issue Maresca must address before it becomes a pattern. Rotation or not, the backline has to be stable, confident, and cohesive. Today, we had none of that. Leeds walked all over us because we gave them permission to do so. Defensive fragility is killing us, and until Maresca stops gambling with the back four, We are going to continue seeing results like this. Embarrassing, avoidable, and utterly frustrating. Which brings me to the third thing we learned. No Caicedo, no party. Let's get one thing straight. Losing Caicedo isn't just inconvenient, it's catastrophic. Chelsea without him isn't a football team. It's a collection of talented individuals hoping the other one steps up. And today nobody did. Maresca went with Enzo and Santos in the midfield. On paper, fine. In reality, disaster. Enzo put in a 6.8 rating, 2 key passes, 1 accurate cross, 88% pass accuracy, 3 shots. Decent on paper, but it barely scratched the surface of what was needed. Next to him, Santos, also 6.8 rating, 0 key passes, 0 shots, and 93% pass accuracy. Accurate passes don't win battle. People, control, aggression, and the ability to show defense do. And without Caicedo, we were exposed. The midfield was practically non-existent. Leeds dominated possession, dictated tempo, and broke the line at will. Transition were chaotic. Our centre-back were just running for their life because the midfield couldn't protect them. This wasn't just bad luck. This was a system falling apart without its heartbeat. Look at the stats. Chelsea have won only 25% of Premier League matches without Caicedo starting. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. That's a glaring warning light flashing in Maresca's face every time we step in the pitch without him. Let's be honest, we all knew pre-match what the challenge was. Losing Caicedo meant we have to compensate with energy, discipline, and tactical awareness. The question is, did we? And the answer is no. Enzo and Santos tried, but they couldn't impose themselves, couldn't dominate the middle of the back, couldn't give the defense the protection needed. Leeds smelled weakness from the first whistle and exploited it mercilessly. And here is the hard truth. Caicedo isn't just a cog in the machine, he's the machine. Without him, Chelsea lacked balance, control, and the ability to transition from defense to attack safely. Until we figure out how to function without him, and Maresca stops over-rotating the squad, we are going to continue seeing games like this, exposed, outnumbered, and ultimately humiliated. Which brings me to the fourth thing we learned: mentality. This one hurts the most because it isn't just tactical mistake or poor selection. It's Chelsea's fight and adaptability being completely missing. Leeds came to Elland Road desperate, hungry and motivated. They pressed, they ran, they fought for every inch. And what did we do? We looked like we were sleepwalking. Even when Pedro Neto come off the bench to score and bring us back to 2-1, it felt like one-man effort against the tide. Neto finished with a 7.6 rating, 28 touches, 1 goal, 1 shot on target, 2 successful dribbles. Great individual performance, yes, but it shouldn't take a substitute to inject urgency in a squad representing Chelsea. And getting the man who set him up, a 7.5 rating, 1 assist, 1 big chance, 1 key pass, 2 accurate crosses, 82% passing accuracy. He was trying to carry the mentality for the team, creating, probing, and driving forward when the starting 11 looked incapable of matching intensity. Leeds weren't just playing for points, they were desperate and dangerous, and it showed. High energy, relentless pressing, exploiting every defensive lapses. Chelsea, on the other hand, flat, disconnected, and slow to react. We lacked the aggression, the urgency, and the mental sharpness to cope. Here is the hard truth: we can't just rely on talent or tactics. Mental readiness, hunger, fight, these are non-negotiable at a club like Chelsea. And today we failed on knockouts against a motivated underdogs. Our mentality was inconsistent, weak, and frankly embarrassing. If we want to compete at the top, we cannot afford performances like this. We need to ask ourselves, are we mentally ready to fight for every ball? Are we adapting when the game turns against us? Today Leeds showed us how far we still have to go. Which brings me to the last and final thing: we are not in a title race. Let's be real, after today, any talk of Chelsea title challenge is just a fantasy. This defeat didn't just cost points, it blew a hole in our credibility as contenders. Leeds, a team scraping for survival, exploited every weakness we had. Defensive fragility, poor rotation, midfield imbalance, lack of fight, and we led them. That's not a fluke, that's a warning. Away from Stamford Bridge in hostile atmosphere, against teams that refuse to lie down, we are not consistent enough, we struggle to dominate, we struggle to adapt, we crumble under pressure. And here is the hard truth: Chelsea aren't equipped to claim wins reliably at this stage. If we step back and look at the bigger picture, it's all connected. Defensive error, mismanaged rotation, over-reliance on key players like Moises Caicedo, and mentality lapses. These aren't just isolated incidents, they are systematic issues. A top 4 side might survive, but a title contender simply can't afford. So yes, Leeds hands us a reality check we desperately needed. We can rant, we can analyze, but the truth stares us in the face. We are not in a title race. Not yet, not like this. If we want to genuinely compete for the top, everything needs fixing. Structure, mentality, squad management. Until then, dreaming about a title is just that, a dream. And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Good.